HANSA.newscast, presented by Korean Register, providing the best services, creating a better world by CARE.
Hi and welcome to HANSA Newscast. I'm Janne Silden and today I'm joined by Albrecht Grell, Managing Director of OceanScore. It's great to be here with you, Albrecht.
Great to have you.
So let's jump straight into it. OceanScore. My understanding is that the company turns environmental regulation into financial and operational decisions. Is that correctly summarized?
I would say broadly it is, right? We're taking compliance from a commercial angle. We're really focusing on the commercial aspect because what's really new is that you can actually today, there's money in regulation. There's money in compliance to be made if you approach it correctly. Let me give you two examples. FuelEU Maritime. If you approach it correctly, shipping is roughly making 500 million euros margin in FuelEU Maritime by charging shippers more than it actually costs them to comply with the regulation.
Oh.
So there's a huge opportunity out there. The only question is, so to say, who in the value chain of shipping gets what part of this 500 million euros. Or give you another example, we're looking at ports giving discounts to clean vessels, calling their ports. These vessels can get thousands, 10,000s of euros of discounts if they are doing this correctly. Again, there's opportunities. And that's what we as OceanScore do. We're currently supporting around 8,000 vessels, turning their compliance into commercial success.
Okay, so for shipping companies that feels overwhelmed by all these frameworks, what is your recommendation to regain control and turn it into a commercial success?
Now that's a discussion we're having pretty much every day with our partners. I fully agree, that's an important one. I would say there's maybe two things to it. One is that this is nothing that can be delegated to the sustainability team to take care of it.
Okay.
Compliance has become so relevant, so complex, so expensive. If you get it wrong, this belongs at a boardroom level. Right? So this becomes a strategic discussion to be had in the company. And I think some companies should move a bit more into really embracing the opportunity there. And secondly, if you are MSC or someone of that scale, you better have all that competence in-house. You have your own teams, specialists on all the different regulations, on the opportunities, and that's what they do. But if you're not MSC, so how do you get that knowledge and the competence you need to succeed? And that's where there are ample partners out there who can really help you understand and perform in that environment.
Yeah.
We have worked with partners over the last year who very nearly lost millions in getting FuelEU wrong. Okay. And the cost of getting a smart partner into the team to help you with those discussions, help you run these processes is only a fraction of that.
So the challenge is mainly underestimating the whole ecosystem of compliance?
Maybe underestimating, but you know how shipping is, right? I mean,
optimistic.
These regulations are painful to everyone. I mean, they're a pain in the butt. They are not what you want to do. You are out there to run vessels from A to B in a safe and compliant manner, and you don't want to bother with all these details, right? So there's a natural inclination to push these things away. And all we're saying is, don't push them out, embrace them as an opportunity. And if you don't have the resources in-house, look for a partner to help you do it.
Yeah. So environmental regulation is increasingly creating buyers, sellers, marketplaces, and price signals. Are we witnessing the emergence of entirely new maritime markets, or are they already there?
So some of them are already there. Like if we're looking at EU ETS, for example, the carbon credits, the EUAs, EU allowances, have been there since long in different industries. And we're using the same European allowances, EUAs, as any other industry does. So that's kind of not new. Very uniquely maritime is FuelEU Maritime. That's only existing in this shape in the shipping sector. And there's a new market emerging in pooling, where you can basically trade compliance balance, as it's called, between those who are emitting less with those who are emitting more than they should, given that regulation. Unfortunately, it's not as simple, right? A simple marketplace, you buy and sell, you have a good price or you don't. FuelEU is more complex than that, and that's part of the problem, because even a low price for a pool spot could be way too expensive if the dollar exchange rates, the EUA costs, the cost of alternative fuels, the abatement costs are moving in a different direction. So you really have to look at the total picture to identify what the right strategy is, even if you have one marketplace with some degree of transparency.
It sounds like you have to adapt the strategy, regular.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is something where you cannot go out and say, we plan for the next 3 years to run on 3% B30 across our fleet and that's it.
No.
I mean, you can, but commercially speaking, that's not wise. So you have to constantly follow all these price signals to the degree that they are transparent, often they are not, and then adjust your strategy as you proceed.
It sounds like managing a portfolio like on the stock market.
As I said, it's unfortunately, it's quite interdependent, so there's a complexity. One of the reasons why we have implemented or brought about a FuelEU pooling marketplace, where you have multiple offers meeting multiple customers who are looking for surplus. So there's an efficient market developing that's not there so far. And we've introduced what we call the OceanScore Pool Price Index, where for the first time we put a real euro value to compliance with FuelEU Maritime. So actually people can start to kind of play the different market signals based on data, not just feelings.
Okay, so you're creating a reference point then, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you think we are moving towards a future where ports, customers, financiers and regulators reward the same environmental performance metrics?
We would all wish that would happen, right?
Yes.
I mean, I see some convergence in things where it's like utter nonsense that we have different metrics, right? Look at CO2. Is it CO2 or CO2 equivalents? Are we talking tank to wake or well to wake? Right? That's nonsense, right? And I think there we see some convergence, and I hope that's continuing, that in the end we'll all talk about CO2 in the same way. But if you look at ports, for example, their interest is not so much global climate change, but local pollutants hitting their stakeholders, their population around the ports, right? So they're looking at particulate matter, they're looking at NOx emissions, for example. If we look at the Pacific Northwest, so Canada, British Columbia up there, Washington State, they have a very sensitive whale population. So for them, underwater noise is super, super important, something that maybe in, I don't know, the North Sea is less relevant. So there will be some differences remaining. The complexity won't go away, but I hope we'll see some harmonization.
Yeah, so what's next then for OceanScore?
A lot of things are happening. I mean, we are growing very, very quickly. We talked about that earlier. We've just crossed the benchmark or the reference point of 50 people in the team, doubled since last year, over the last 12 months. I think what's kind of new for us is that we opened our Japan office. Mm-hmm. So really strengthening our footprint across APAC, having started in Singapore, we're doubling up now, going into Japan and having some really nice traction in that market. So that's kind of new. And I guess the big news that was reported by HANSA as well a couple of weeks back is that we are now supporting the International Association of Ports and Harbors, so the global ports club in a way, with their environmental ship index scheme, which provides port fee discounts to shipping companies when they call the port with a clean vessel, right? So this is one of these moments where the ports get together, incentivize clean shipping, so create more momentum behind sustainable shipping in a way, which is super good.
Yeah.
And we've been able to join forces with IAPH to actually run the scheme to the benefit of shipping and ports alike.
Do you see that what you're putting together or what you're doing with OceanScore, that it has an impact on the net zero and the decarbonization and that stuff, like that part too?
Indirectly, yes. I would always believe that we are not preachers. We're not out there to preach shipping how they should behave, but we're helping them to comply. We're making it way easier for them. We're helping them turn compliance into commercial success. And if you want to take, so to say, the green perspective on it, then you could probably argue, and we hope we can argue, that by making it easier and commercially more rewarding, we might be pushing that process as well. But our main role is to support shipping, not to tell them where to go. Makes sense.
Last question.
Sure.
You clearly enjoy this very much. So what do you love most about your job?
You're asking somebody who's just back from Posidonia. And I would say amongst everything is the community in shipping is spectacular. I've been in other industries, I've always come back to shipping. The way we interact, the way we collaborate across the industry, across countries and continents, I think that is very, very uniquely shipping, and I hope we can keep and build on that.
I'm sure we will. Thanks a lot for your insights and sharing what you do and about the success and everything you have achieved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to HANSA.newscast. Subscribe now for more insights and stories from the world of shipping. And feel free to visit HANSA.news and sign up for the HANSA newsletter to stay up to date. And hey, see you at the next episode. Bye.